So this is Christina Russell with Christina Russell Coaching, and today I'm continuing this series of videos I've been making about goals and goal setting. And today I want to talk about 6 specific types of resistance that often come up when you set a goal or even just think about setting a goal. And as I mentioned in a previous video, when we set a goal or think about setting a goal, we often have a ton of resistance right under the surface of our consciousness, and sometimes it's in our consciousness. But if we don't work with that resistance, it will derail us. That's why I want you to know about these specific resistances that often come up. So, because if you know what they are, you can look for them. And if you see them, you can work with them. And if you work with them, they're less likely to stop you in your tracks. Even if you're just conscious of them, they're less likely to stop you in your tracks. So, I want you to think about a goal you have. It could be especially a financial goal, although it doesn't have to be a financial goal, a monthly income goal, a savings goal, or something, so that as I talk about these different types of resistance, you can tune in and see if it applies to this to your goal. And I just want to give credit to my own mentor and coach, Margaret Lynch, and her book, Tapping into Wealth, which is where I'm giving a specific list. So the first one I want to mention, I mentioned in a previous video, was the immediate thought of, that's impossible. There's no way that is even remotely possible. If you believe that, or if a part of you believes that, and you're not working with that or addressing those limiting beliefs, it will stop you, because who wants to work towards a goal that seems impossible? You can check out the last video I made for a way to work with that particular limiting belief. The second piece of resistance I want to mention is when there's something or someone outside of you that seems like it's going to hinder your progress. So it could be something like a competitor, or the nature of the market, or the structure of your company. Maybe you say, I've been promoted as high as I can be promoted. There's no way I can, make more money from here. Or it may be a limiting belief about, like for me, it was a belief that said, people in the helping field don't make very much money. This was kind of like a running joke in grad school and in trainings that, people don't get into this for the money, implying you can't really make money helping people. The third limiting belief or type of resistance is a belief that, and again, it comes up immediately, that there's some kind of shortcoming within you, within yourself. So it could be a belief like, I don't have enough training, or I don't have enough experience, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough. And these are really painful beliefs that will get in our way. And if we think, if I work towards this goal, I'm going to have to feel those feelings of not good enough, of course we're going to try to avoid it. Again, unless we really work with those painful feelings directly. So a fourth piece of resistance is a lack of energy or time. So many of us already are, barely keeping our heads above water, spread really thin with all our responsibilities. And to think about doubling your income or tripling your income, it's like, where am I possibly going to get the time and energy to make that happen? Often embedded in this belief is a belief of, in order to make more money, I have to work that much harder, that much longer. And the shift that can happen there is, maybe I could work smarter, not harder. But that's a hard one to get to for a lot of us, because we're so, that idea of working harder is the only way to get ahead is really ingrained in a lot of us. So the next piece of resistance I want to talk about is, and this is particularly around the goals, financial goals, is having debt. If you have a debt situation, it just kind of casts a dark, negative cloud on everything. giving you less energy and enthusiasm for your goals. Oftentimes it's kind of just a strong negative feeling and maybe a sense of hopelessness about financial goals. And finally, the last piece of resistance I want to talk about is I have no idea how to make that happen. So it's a little bit different from it's impossible. It's more just like, how could that happen? I don't see the vision for it. And a lot of times for people who are very, achievement-oriented, intelligent people, it's like we have to have a plan. If we have a plan, we can implement it and make it happen. But sometimes when there's a big goal, it's like, I don't even know the vision for what that would look like. So how can I make it happen? So why even bother? This is a piece I really resonate with. Years ago, my husband would get really enthusiastic about setting goals and working together to achieve them. And I would think to myself, that's just so unrealistic, that goal that you're talking about. How could we ever get there? I have no idea how we would do that. Let's live on the planet Earth and think about something we could actually accomplish. So it's like my old way of thinking was, let's make a plan and let the goal kind of emerge from there. Versus this other way of thinking is, let's set the goal and let the plan emerge from the goal, which is really a huge paradigm shift for a lot of us, myself included. So those are the 6 things I wanted to mention, again, so that you can think about them with your own goals and say, is this something that happens to me? And if it is, how can I work with it? How can I address it? I think in order to move towards goals, we really have to be committed to working on this stuff, because it will arise as we continue to work towards bigger and bigger goals. The resistance is going to keep showing up in new forms. So having a way to work with it and being committed to working with it when it comes up can really help you move forward with your vision. And as I mentioned in another video, tapping, emotional freedom techniques, is a really great tool you can use with all these resistance. Sometimes just 1 or 2 minutes of tapping on some of this resistance can get you unstuck and help you move forward. In the next video I'm going to do that, show you another example of how you could use tapping to work with your resistance. And this time it'll be the one about, that inner and some sort of shortcoming in yourself. That's what I'm going to work on in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.